2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815.
You probably already know this, but every time a celebrity signs another autograph, they end up slightly devaluing every other autograph they've ever signed. My name is Greg. Tom's out there somewhere. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the, what is this? This is the 17th day of May, the year 2025, the latest it's ever been in the history of mankind. I think I heard Tom say that out there at Peak Sports Club, where he is out right now providing sound for the Who Gives a Ruck event that's taking place out there. And we are hopefully going to have a chance to talk with him a little bit about that. Let me see if I have a post about that right here. There it is. The Who Gives a Ruck event is taking place this morning out there at this Peak Sports Club. The actual march begins at 10. Check-in starts at 9. So if you're watching this live right now, you have a chance actually to get out there and be a part of it. So let's see if he can jump in before we're done doing our recording of our In Crowd 815 podcast today. But register online. It's all done already. That was due by Thursday, May 15th, but there might be availability to walk and still go and walk if you want to go. You probably just might not get a t-shirt unless they've ordered a lot of extra ones there. But anyway, that's at Peak Sports Club out there in Loves Park, and hard to miss that out there today. Should be a pretty good day for the big events. Before we do anything else, let's make sure we take care of this. Our big number of the week, Race to 10, currently has Tom in the lead by a score of 6-4. And our big number of the week this week is 45.1 million. That's a pretty big number. Is the answer Memorial Day or movies? My dog opened my door. I got to shut it. A Memorial Day or movies? Put your guess in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And if you are feeling extra creative this morning, make up a little bit of a story as to what you think the big number and your answer might have something to do with each other. That's what it's all about. We've got a good show for you, and the person's still sleeping next to you. So maybe give them a nudge and say, hey, let's watch this live this week instead of recorded later on Spotify. If you have yet to join us on Spotify, though, we do highly encourage you to follow and like and put the notification bell on. And please, 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 lots of pleases. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify. That really does help us with the distribution of the show and to get more eyeballs and ears on what we are doing here in the 815. All right. Check out all things 815 at our website, incrowd815.com. We partner with Fresh Prints with some great fun new merch. We're working on some new stuff even as we speak. And our events, podcast, merch are all there on the website. Our first guests this morning are joining us from one of Rockford's gems that maybe you have yet to be. You know, if we talk about this all the time, you live in a place for a length of time and you're right by some really awesome, amazing things. Do you ever take the time to actually explore your own city? And this is one of the things you need to check out when you get a chance here in the Rockford area. It's the Laurent House by Frank Lloyd Wright. And this morning we have the executive director on with us, Beth Peterson, along with her director of education, Betsy Anderson. And good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for carving out time to join us today from Laurent House. And we'll get into all things Laurent House here in a minute. But first, we would sure love to learn a little bit about who you are and what you do. So let's start with Betsy. Betsy, where did you grow up and go to school, and what led you to be involved in the Laurent House?
I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, furniture capital of the world, at least it used to be. But I went to Purdue University where I studied art history and interior design. So after college, I had a design studio in New York, in upstate New York.
Okay.
My husband was working for IBM at the time. And then he's from Rockford, so we came here to take care of his mom. And so we've been here since 2001. And I homeschooled my kids, so I was engaged in a lot of stuff there. And I taught art at the co-op and really loved it. So then I started teaching camp here 6 years ago. So, and then about a year ago, I came on part-time as the director of education and community outreach. So that's me.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're in the Rockford area for the same reason I am. I fell in love with someone who lived here, and this is a great place to live.
Yes.
There we go.
Exactly.
There we go. All right, and Mary Beth, how about yourself? Where did you grow up? Oh, I didn't. Wait a minute, I missed something. Where did you go to high school, Mary Beth?
Oh, so I graduated from Christian Life High School.
You're an eagle. What is Betsy? Is Betsy? What was your high school mascot?
Golden Eagles.
Oh, you're
Rogers High School.
Rogers High School, or Golden
Wyoming,
Eagles.
Michigan.
We got two Eagles on the show today. Woohoo! All right, Mary Beth, sorry, go ahead. You grew up here in Rockford.
No worries. So I did. I'm born and raised in Rockford. I left at different times to go away to college. I spent some time living in St. Paul for about a year, and in Kansas City, and ultimately came back to Rockford, where I finished my degree at Rockford University. I hold a bachelor's degree in business marketing. I spent 26 years working at Larson & Darby Architecture, which is a wonderful place to work. And all my life, I've really had a love of architecture, of history, of art and design. And I got involved in the Laurent House in 2014. I've been a volunteer since the very beginning. I was one of those first docents here for opening day. And I always say that I fell in love with the Laurent House. It's just a wonderful place. And everything here has been just work of passion. And I felt like I came at the right time. Coming at the beginning, there were so many needs. So I had many opportunities to be mentored, had been leading our tour program, doing marketing efforts, creating events. I've been doing that for a long time as a volunteer while working full-time at Larson & Darby Architecture. And our founder here, his name is Jerry Heinz-Roth, and he passed away a year ago, January, but he really has been my mentor here for the last 10 years. And he was able to secure a grant to bring on an executive director. And so I came on full-time as executive director, leaving my job at Larson & Darby, which was a little scary to leave the corporate world to come into nonprofit. So that was a year ago, October. So I've been the executive director for just over a year and a half. And it certainly is a job that I love and feel that I was made to do this work. And Betsy and I really work hard here to just make everything a wonderful experience for our guests who come here.
Nice. It's so what year was it that Laurent House actually started doing tours? It hasn't been that long.
It hasn't been that long. It was June of 2014. So our founder that I mentioned, Jerry Heinz-Roth, he and his wife Barb were personal friends of Ken and Phyllis Laurent for about the last 10 years of their lives. And so he and the Laurent's landscape architect, whose name was John Cook, these two men really began to start these efforts to build what was then known as Friends of the Laurent House and try to raise the funds to make a public museum possible for our community. So as they began to do this work, they were joined by John Grow from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. He was an early board member, others in our community. And so what ended up happening, the house ended up going up for auction in December of 2011. And so Jerry Heinz-Roth and these early board members, including John Grove from the Convention Visitors Bureau, they really spearheaded the efforts to raise the money to be able to acquire the house at auction, which happened in December 2011. A month later, in January 2012, Ken Laurent passed away. So I love knowing that before he passed, he knew his house would be a public museum, which is something he wanted. Yeah. And then Phyllis stayed in the house until March, and she died in November that year. The house was due to open for tours in 2013, but we had a big restoration that had to take place. The entire roofing system gave way in spring of 2013. So that was a year-long restoration, an expensive restoration. We just paid that off. And so we opened for our first tour in June of 2014. And so, yeah, it's been wonderful. And now summer 2020 is when Betsy came on to start our first camps. We received some grant money from the Shellstrom Family Foundation to start a camp program here. And I'm just thrilled that we were able to bring her on. I came in October of 2024, and she came, was it 2024?
April.
Yeah, actually October of 2023,
Yeah.
and she came in April of 2024. And her position is partly funded through grant funding, both through the Shellstrom Family Foundation and through the Illinois Arts Council. And we're just thrilled to be able to do this work here. It's an honor, really.
It's pretty amazing to think how close Rockford was to losing this house. I can only imagine how many people were putting in bids during the auction to try to get this house, and what plans other people or organizations might have had for it.
Sure, absolutely. And I always love to share that, there's many in the community that don't fully understand who was Frank Lloyd Wright. And Frank Lloyd Wright is considered to be America's most famous and most prolific architect. Though he died in 1959, his principles of architecture are still studied. Working at Larson & Darby, I saw that architects coming out of architecture school still learning about Frank Lloyd Wright, his organic principles of design. He's influenced generations of architects. People come from around the country. They come to Rockford, around the world. We're hosting a tour group this coming week from Australia. They come faithfully to see us. We have tour groups from the UK. We've hosted architecture students from the Netherlands. I mean, we get people that come from around the world, and they're coming to Rockford just to see the Laurent house. It's exciting.
That's cool. That's cool. And that's, again, that's someone who's lived in Rockford. I've been around and working and living in Rockford since 1990. So the changes I've seen just in 35 years has been pretty impressive and fun. And a lot of neat things have come and gone, and new things have started. But for those pre-1990 who knew of this house, I'm kind of, do you have any kind of stories of folks who knew of this house and its occupants and stuff like that? Is there, I don't know,
Sure.
because we get a lot of things around Rockford with haunted things and not haunted things, and then just fun anecdotes and other things. I'm just curious if there's any like fun little anecdotes or stories of residents, or maybe around the house itself, the neighborhood, or something something that you guys tend to like to share during tours and such.
No, I guess something, I guess I should have mentioned it when I was talking about. So what's special about the Laurent house? So in Wright's lifetime, he designed over 1,000 pieces of architecture. Around 500 were built, and of this extensive portfolio, the Laurent house is the only one to be wheelchair accessible. And so what I love about it, it's fully accessible, but there's nothing in the house that would have reminded Ken Laurent on a daily basis that he had a physical limitations. He became a paraplegic just after World War II. He had a large spinal cord tumor, and this is what left him paralyzed from the waist down. He was just, it happened in May of, this would have been 1946, correct? So he just would have turned 27 in February. So a young man, and he lived to be 92 years old. He felt that living in this house that Wright had designed for him gave him both a long length of life and a full life. And he loved to share the house with people. There are Frank Lloyd Wright fans around the world. One of my docents here, his wife, calls us a cult. So people who love Frank Lloyd Wright architecture really love Frank Lloyd Wright architecture. And so during their lifetime there, they often would get people who would knock on their door and want to see the house. And they were just wonderful stewards of the house. And if the house was perfect, you were invited to come inside. But if it wasn't perfect, if I don't know, you live in a house and it might not be a dirty dish on the counter or something. Phyllis was a meticulous housekeeper. But if it wasn't perfect, you were invited to walk the site and stay as long as you wish. And I was able to hear that story personally from one of my colleagues at Larson & Darby Architecture. He had that experience, and I loved hearing that story from them. So they just really, their house meant everything to them. They were just a wonderful couple. They raised a loving couple. They raised a loving family. Ken Laurent was a lifelong employee of National Lock in our community. My mentor, Jerry Heinsroth, who was their friend, he would always describe them as perfect gentleman and the perfect lady. So we're just, one of the things that we do here, part of my work is to train docents, tour guides here. And I always say the number one thing I look for in someone coming here is hospitality. You can learn any facts, but I want you to be warm and hospitable. I try to make sure that our team here welcomes guests on behalf of Ken and Phyllis Laurent.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the way to go. You can train people things. I'm going to switch this around a little bit here. Okay, hold on. Technology's fun. Technology's fun. It really is when it works right. I'm going to get this to the point where that's a little bit better.
Perfect.
We'll get there eventually. So we're looking at the Facebook page for The Rent House by Frank Lloyd Wright. And the intro says something that really is, I find very interesting as well. It says that obviously what you just said, it was designed by Wright, the only one designed by Wright for a person with a disability, and designed in such a way that the person with the disability would never even really think about that. But it's also one of only 10 hemicycle Usonian homes.
Hemicycle
Usonian home. What is a hemicycle Usonian home?
Sure, I will explain this. So Frank Lloyd Wright was designing right up until his death. He was very, very active. You know, architects really, their work is their passion, and so he designed the Rent House when he was 82 years old. In the last 20 years of his life, he's designing a style of architecture that he termed Usonian design, and Usonian was roughly to be an acronym for United States of North America. In reality, what he was trying to do was to bring beautiful design to the middle class. And the first Usonian he designed is in Madison, Wisconsin. It's known as Jacobs 1. 8 of Wright's works are enlisted on the UNESCO World Heritage List. So that's a big honor for Frank Lloyd Wright. So in that portfolio of Usonian homes, which there are about 75, there are only, it's either 10 or 11 that are this, what's termed hemicycle. And what that means is the use of intersecting curves in the design. So if you look at that photo there that's pictured, you see the back of the house, which is a half circle. And what's special about the Laurent house, it's the first of a type of hemicycle that is more of an elliptical shape. The earlier hemicycles and other ones that came after Laurent are a tighter circle, like a C, a half C. And for Ken Laurent, he said to Frank Lloyd Wright that circle, the C was too tight for his wheelchair. And so what Wright gave him in return at Laurent House is that curve flattened out. And it inspired 3 others after Laurent House. So there's only 4 with this more elliptical shape that is the Laurent House. It's also wonderful in that it's a one-owner home. That's unusual in the world of public site museums. The house went right from the possession of Ken and Phyllis Laurent to the Laurent House Foundation. They were excellent stewards of the home. It contains all the original furnishings with the exception of a pair of hassocks. So it's really a treasure in a lot of ways.
Nice. Well, I want to make sure we get your website up here on the screen to show off some of the stuff that you guys have on this beautiful website, laurenthouse.com. And I know you wanted me to go to the gallery and look at something special. Sure. So I'm going to get to that right now. We have photos from Maynard Parker, Nels Ackerland, and I think it was Andrew Peeledge.
So Andrew Peeledge is a Frank Lloyd Wright. He lives in Arizona, and he's a wonderful photographer, but he's on a mission to photograph all of Wright's remaining works. And he's been to Laurent House 2 times now to take these wonderful photos for us. In Wright's architecture, he's always working with a concept termed organic architecture. It's a pretty broad term, but what that means is blending the divide between the interior and the exterior, bringing nature into spaces, paying careful attention to how the house is sited. Wright's intent is always that the site is enhanced by his architecture. And so that's what you see here. Also the use of natural materials. So you see the materials used on the house are Chicago common brick, wood that's called the red tidewater cypress. And you can see all these images where nature is really coming into the spaces. The house feels a lot bigger than what it actually is. Because
it does. You're right about that. It does feel bigger than it is. It's not the very big house. I mean,
it's not. It's there was an addition that was done. So the left wing of the house was an addition that came in 1959. Wright began that addition and then passed away. So the main part of the house is 1,400 square feet, and then the addition gave extra. I think the total today is about 2,400 square feet for the whole house.
Not having a basement, correct? There's no basement.
That's correct. So part of the concept with the Usonian is that to save on cost, there's not an attic, there's not a basement. We do have a little below grade mechanical room.
Yeah. So the main floor of this house, I mean, forgive me for saying this, that I know this probably sounds terrible to say, but it's a typical Rockford ranch. Square footage wise, that's it. That's all I mean.
But not in how it looks.
Yeah.
But not in how it looks. And you mentioned the fact that the roof gave way in whatever it was, 2012 or 2013.
It was 2013, spring of 2013. Yes.
And that's the challenge of definitely a Midwest home with a flat roof. You have to maintain it or do it. You have to do it proper. Otherwise it's a problem.
Yes, that's correct. The Lorents had needed a new roof for quite a long time and weren't able to do that. And so there was a lot of patching and repair that was done. And so finally in spring of 2013, that roofing system gave way. And so the Laurent House Foundation was put in place where we needed to do an extensive restoration of that roof. We worked very closely with a Frank Lloyd Wright architect in Chicago. His name is John Eifler, and he redesigned the roof according to Wright's original plan, but gave it a little bit of a pitch. At the same time, different work was done that was meant to be phased. So we put in ductwork, so now we have a central air conditioning system. The Lorents did not have that. Obviously, security cameras, because now we're a public site. Wiring, the house was all rewired, wood was refinished, all these different things. So that put on the house the need for a mortgage to help pay for this work. This restoration project was over $500,000. And so we had to have a mortgage on the house to pay for this. And on March 21st of this year, we paid that off. It's wonderful. We're going to have a party on June 8th to celebrate that. June 8th is Wright's birthday.
Nice. Good deal. So public invited to that? Are you selling tickets to that? How are you doing that on June 8th?
No. So certainly if the public is invited, they can reach out to me at marybeth@laurenthouse.com. Well, how this came about, we had the wonderful opportunity. There's an organization called the Pritzker Military Foundation, and they presented us with a matching grant challenge we've been working on this for like the last year and a half. And the challenge was that if we could raise $50,000, they would grant us $50,000. And so we worked really hard here and we met that challenge. And then we were able to raise an additional $44,000. And so that allowed us to retire the mortgage, which had gone from, originally it started at about a $500,000 mortgage on the house. It was down to $144,000, and that was retired completely on March 21st of this year. So It was a huge accomplishment for our foundation.
Absolutely.
And thanks to thanks to the donors who, of course, who made that possible, and the Pritzker Military Foundation.
Well, the house is exquisite. It's just amazing, and it's beautiful. And I really appreciate you guys, especially Mary Beth, showing me around the other day to kind of give me a little insight as to why this is such a special place. And I really want people to come out and see it. Are there special tour dates and times that people can take advantage of?
We do advise people the tickets are sold on our website, laurenthouse.com. There's a tab that says visit. We do recommend advanced reservations because we often sell out, and the house is limited to how many people it can hold, obviously. So our tours, we just added Thursdays this year. So we're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for tours each day. All the times are on our website there. Let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're 11:30 and 1 o'clock. Sundays, they're 1 and 2:30. In our peak season, which is from May to October, as tours book up online, we try to add more spots. We also are available for private tours and school field trips, group tours. Those are available any day of the week and any time. We welcome a lot of bus tours during our summer months.
And obviously,
a tour ticket is $25 for an adult, $5 for students. We do give a group rate for a senior group. So if a senior center comes to us, we will honor a senior group rate of $18 a person to do that. We do also every spring, we just got done hosting art scene. We always host a spring art scene, and it's the one time of year that we offer tours of the Laurent House by donation.
And obviously, this is a house that is very handicapped accessible. That's the way it was designed.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Each weekend that we do tours, we usually get guests who are using wheelchairs, and I always enjoy seeing that. They get a chance to experience the house the way Ken Laurent did.
That's awesome.
Oh, we do. Can I talk more? So that we do a joint tour program with Anderson Gardens. I'd love to talk about that. We have a wonderful collaborative relationship with them. They are only 5 minutes from Laurent House. On Wednesdays and Fridays, we do a joint program with them. It's a wonderful architectural tour experience. It's a $60 ticket. It's a 4-hour tour. So you get 2 hours at the Anderson Gardens. You get a guided tour of the gardens. They open the Japanese guest house, which is not normally open to the public. And you're learning about Japanese architecture and the construction of the guest house. And then guests come back to the Laurent house, where there's a comparison with the architecture that they saw at the Japanese guest house.
Nice. Very nice. Well, I
That's
know
a
we
popular
could spend a lot of time talking about all the different things that you are doing at Laurent House. We want people to stop by and see you, to schedule a tour and come check things out. And I know Betsy had something she wanted to share that she's been doing with her education side of things. I'm going to put you guys back on the bigger screen here. And can you show us a little bit what that you were working on there?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say also we have camps in the summer, and we still have spaces for our camps. So it's 2 weeks in June, 2 weeks in July. And if you go to our website under the events tab, you can pull down an application and all the information you need.
It's for kids ages 8 to 16.
8 to 16. Yeah. So there's 3 weeks of 8 to 12 and then one of 12 to 16. But we've incorporated these Freugle blocks, which are these blocks that Frank Lloyd Wright played with as a child. I think his mom gave him to him when he was 6 years old. He attributes his success as an architect to these, along with 2 other things. But he always had these in his hand or in his pocket. And they're starting to use, well, they have used them for a long time in architectural school, because the students these days have difficulty with spatial relationships because they're on screens all the time.
Oh, gosh.
So they're all different, and you can kind of see inside there. This is ones with cubes that are divided into 4s and halves, and then a solid cube. They come with a book that you can do 2-dimensional designs or 3-dimensional designs with. And we've started incorporating them with some of our visits of senior citizens. So there's research being done about how important these are for people that are older, especially people with dementia or Alzheimer's, because it uses both sides of their brain, and it's incredibly beneficial for them. So we did a little thing with a couple people that came, and they were from a community center, and they really enjoyed it. So we're going to start going into some of the places here in town. There's a local gal who actually played the harp we had a beautiful Mother's Day tea inside the house over Mother's Day weekend. And there's a local woman in town, her name is Lois Schluter, and she plays the harp. So we're going to go into some of these places with beautiful music and Freugle blocks, and hopefully that'll be something that'll be beneficial.
And if anyone's watching our podcast and they would like, Betsy to come out to their school or their senior center, just give our office a call.
So we do field trips during the school year where kids come in and they do a tour, and then they come back to our visitor center, which is where we are right now. We set up tables and chairs, and we do art projects that are, associated with Frank Lloyd Wright or nature or something. But I also go into schools and bring the Freugle blocks and a couple little cute books about Frank Lloyd Wright and read the kids' books. And then we do this, play with the Freugle blocks. So yeah, we can do a lot of different things.
These things made out of wood, it just astounds me how anyone was able to make something like that. The little sliding.
They're lovely to, tactile. They're just very nice, and they're beautifully put into these lovely boxes. And it's very simple. And I know, like with my camp kids, I bring these out. And so these kids are between 8 and 16, and I bring these out, and they kind of look at me and they're like, oh, this is like a diaper show. What are we doing with this?
Yeah.
And then they end up loving it, because you have to really use your observation skills, and it's got physics and science incorporated in it, and they're building these 3-dimensional things, and they can do 2-dimensional too. That's kind of the first thing, a little easier to do, but they're very popular.
It's better than a Rubik's Cube. That's what I want to say.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Even better than a Rubik's Cube. Well, if there's one other thing that you wanted to touch on today, Mary Beth or Betsy, one other important thing about Laurent House that you want to make sure we get out there before we let you go. I just want to encourage everybody to schedule a tour, even if it's just for your family, if it's not necessarily for your group. But if you have a group, bring your group out and schedule a tour and enjoy a few hours out at this wonderful, beautiful place. You have not just, before we, I know we're going to talk about the gift shop.
Yeah, the museum store. Yes.
Yes. When you come out there, you're not just seeing the house. There's this awesome gift shop. And so you're starting your tour, your quote unquote tour in the gift shop across the street before going into the actual house. So you have some really interesting things going on in there.
We do, and I encourage people even just to, come and shop, even if you're, remember us for a gift, a unique gift. Betsy and I have worked hard to create curated things and a lot of things for the home, beautiful jewelry items, things related to art, architecture, design, Frank Lloyd Wright, nature. And all the proceeds from the store go back to support the preservation efforts of the Laurent House. So it's a win-win situation. You can get something beautiful for yourself and also help support preservation of one of Rockford's wonderful architectural treasures.
It's really beautifully curated. I just like to say, we've lost Crimson Ridge. We've lost, what was the other one that? Pasca. So we've tried to incorporate some beautiful gift items, and we have Swedish items because Finials is gone too.
The Laurents were Swedish.
Yeah, the Laurents were Swedish, so we've incorporated that. So, and we just have beautiful, just stationery and gift cards and pretty things, reasonable prices. So, and we're usually open Thursday through Saturday. The gift shop is open. So we'll have a little sign out in front that says the gift shop is open, and you can stop by. But
if anyone wants to shop other days, Betsy and I are here working, and we're always happy to open the store.
Yeah, we're here as well. But we also have a barbecue coming up.
Fundraiser. Can I talk about two other things? So just quickly before we end, if you look at our events tab, we put on an interesting lecture series through the year. We usually do 2 or 3 speakers, and I always make sure they're interesting, not boring. Not boring lectures. We have a wonderful one that's coming up on Sunday, June 1st. We use a church that's right down the street from the Laurent House, the Spring Creek United Church of Christ, because of the large auditorium space. We have a woman coming whose name is Carolina Hamlin, and she's 55, and she's lived at Taliesin, which is Wright's home and design studio outside of Madison in Spring Green, Wisconsin. It's right there. That'll be wonderful. Good. She tells a wonderful account of what life has been like living there.
She raised her family there.
Found her, met her husband, raised her family there. That is on Sunday afternoon, June 1st. Our annual fundraiser is going to be on Saturday, September 6th. It's called Bourbon, Brisket, and Blues. It's a backyard barbecue. We use Little Nick's for the barbecue. We have a Chicago blues band that plays on our terrace. We have bourbon tasting through our tallies. We also have a traditional Japanese tea planned. We work with Anderson Gardens to secure that. And that's on our website as well. And more events will be coming throughout the year. And Betsy's camp program is on there as well. So we're always looking for ways to, encourage the public to come out to Laurent House and experience it in different ways. Our season runs from April through December. We always decorate the house for Christmas. We're working on planning a Christmas tea right now.
So we'll have a Christmas tea, I think, December 6th, I think we're thinking. Right. So that's really lovely. It's done by Vintage Goose here in town. There's a gal who does a high tea. She's Australian. We had it for Mother's Day. It was fun. Lovely. It was really lovely. So
nice. Well, we've got the link in the chat. So those who are watching right now, maybe if you're watching on Spotify, that won't show up. But if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Rumble, it should show up in the chat. The link that goes right to laurenthouse.com/events. Just go to laurenthouse.com. That's where you want to start. LAURENTHOUSE, laurenthouse.com. And there's all sorts of great information right there for you to check out and confirm dates and times and all that stuff. So very good. I think I haven't heard from Tom yet, guys. So I don't think we're gonna have Tom trivia, but I'm gonna try something I've never tried before. You feel like being a guinea pig today?
Sure.
Jamie, this is going to include you. So Jamie, stand by, because this could be a really, really messy situation. Let's see how bad we get here. Yes. Normally we have Tom trivia right now. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning.
Jamie's with Marshmallows Hope, and we're going to be talking all things Marshmallows Hope in a minute. I'm going to try this, and this might be bad. Okay, just I'm putting it out there. This could be a terrible, dismal failure. But we like doing Tom's trivia between guests, and I think I have something for you, but this might not work. So let me see if the screen will come up. The screen is coming up. Okay, I have a round of trivia courtesy of our friends at Keller Williams Realty, where I am a realtor, and some famous homes. Jamie, I'm hoping Betsy and Mary Beth will help us with this and help us out. So let's see if this actually works. Some trivia based around famous homes. Okay, there's a famous Boston house that opened its doors to the public as one of the earliest historic house museums in the nation in April 1908. Any idea what this home might be?
It's not Lizzie Borden's house. It isn't Paul Revere's in Boston.
Yeah, I was thinking Paul Revere too.
Paul Revere.
That's the only guy I know in Boston.
It is Paul Revere.
Yes, all right. It is the Paul Revere house.
It was going to be him or Tom Brady. I don't know.
Well, you got question 1 right already, so we're off to a good start. Let's see if question number 2 is equally tough. It's a Memphis, Tennessee house called Graceland Mansion, 13.8 acres, formerly owned by a wildly successful singer and actor. Who might that be? Elvis Presley. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you're doing there. Give me that peanut butter nanner sandwich now, please. All right, the American architect.
We're going here in September. We can tell you what that is.
This is, let's see, a key role in the architectural movements of the 20th century. Houses, offices, churches, skyscrapers, hotels, museums, and other structures. Who designed this house?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Falling Water. It's
there
amazing.
He is.
Yeah.
This
that
is
worth
right?
the trip out there to see that house. It is extraordinary. My kids all fought me. We went out to see it. They were, oh, we don't want to go. And they were gobsmacked. It is like an amazing house. And Mary Beth and I are going in September because the Conservancy
there's a conference
there. Yeah. So we're excited.
The picture's beautiful, but can you see there's people up here on this?
Oh, yeah. Those are cantilevered out over the waterfall, and there's actually a little staircase out of the living room that you can go down and hang your feet in the water.
That's awesome.
It's pretty amazing.
That is so awesome. So, all right, we're doing really well with this. There's a public event. What public event does the White House hold every Easter time?
Easter egg hunt on the lawn, the front lawn. Is it the Easter egg hunt?
Yeah.
On the front lawn?
Is it an Easter egg hunt, or is it something else?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's something else, but let me see. All right, let's check the answer. It is an Easter egg hunt. Okay. For some reason, I thought maybe it was like a egg rolling hunt. Remember those egg rolling things they used to do?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Or a race where you have to hold your egg on a spoon or something like that. I remember doing that as a kid, but I didn't know what they did at the White House. So, all right, you're doing a lot of 4 for 4. Way to go. Where does, the former queen of the late great Queen Elizabeth II of England, where did she live?
Is it Buckingham Palace?
Buckingham Palace? Is that the name of her house? Buckingham Palace is where she lived. All right. And I think there's a few more questions. What is a ceiling mounted lighting fixture consisting of 2 or more arms bearing lights called? A ceiling mounted lighting fixture that has 2 or more arms bearing lights. What would you call that?
Yeah,
chandelier.
Jamie, you think a chandelier? Or you gotta.
I think that's a really good guess. I'm going to agree with her.
I think that's a good guess too. Chandelier. All right, that's another 6 for 6. Way to go.
Do we get money for the Laurent house for winning this?
Some kind soul is going to donate money to the Laurent house because of these great right answers. I think there's another question left. Oh, that's it. That's the end of the around the world. We're going to save that for another time. So we'll let that go and stop the share screen. So thank you so much, Mary Beth and Betsy, for joining us here today. I hope you enjoyed your time on the podcast. Is there any final things you'd like to say before we let you go for the day?
I can't think of anything. Just
come see us. It is
us.
the sweetest little house. And even the kids that go in are like, I had one kid that went in, oh, it smells like old people. The ceilings are old. And by the time he was done, he was like, this place is amazing, because he learned about why Frank Lloyd Wright did what he did. And it is just, I think it's the best kept secret in Rockford, to be honest with you.
And we don't want it to be a secret. We want everyone to know. So just come and see us. And how lovely for you to include us in this today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to slow down when you drive by the house anyway, because for those who don't know, if you're not one to normally take Springbrook Road,
which is such a pretty street in town.
People call it a speed trap, but it's a residential area. You got to drive slow down Springbrook Road.
We do have problems with people really driving quickly, but the public side of the house is very It's very secluded. You don't really notice it. It's really,
No.
it's, somebody said the house has turned its back to the road, and it really is true because the beauty of it lies on the other side. So,
And that's intentional of Wright's design. And so where Betsy and I are talking to you from, we're at our visitor center, which is directly across the street. And so that's where our offices are. That's where our museum store is. This is where archives are kept, and our parking is over here. So we are across the street from the Laurent house. So yeah, please come out. It's a wonderful thing that Rockford has. It's one of the things that makes Rockford a great place to live and to visit. And we're always excited to host people, host groups. So please, our phone number is on our website. Come and see us.
Since becoming a realtor back in 2013, I've driven up and down Springbrook Road lots and lots. So watching the development of the museum and the parking lot being put in and all that, of the gift shop, I should say, and everything just being come together over the years has been really interesting to see. And now that it's all in place, it's all there, it's all ready for people to enjoy and see. So really want to encourage people to check out the Laurent House by Frank Lloyd Wright. It's 4646 Springbrook Road in Rockford. Easy to find. You got to drive slow on that road anyway. So just pull in and stop and check out the gift shop and say hi to the ladies. So thank you again so much for being on today. And we'll be sure to keep in touch. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you.
All right, let's turn it over to Jamie, who is Director of Operations with Marshmallows Hope. Good morning. Thanks for jumping on with us today.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks for having us.
Now, we've had Marshmallows Hope on in the past, so but to give everyone a little bit of an overview again, what is Marshmallows Hope? What do you tell folks who have never heard of you before?
Marshmallows Hope is a behavioral health center in Rockford, over by Cherryvale Mall. And our mission is to end the stigma of mental health and to start having those hard discussions with people, and also to talk about suicide proactively rather than reactively.
And of course, your founder's story is really something that's heartbreaking and inspirational all at the same time.
Yeah, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. So our founder, executive director, Laura Keene, lost her son, Zachary, to suicide at the age of 14 back in 2018. And after losing him, she started going on his social media accounts to kind of do some research and to find out what really happened. And people were reaching out to her asking for help. So she started a mentoring program, and it was all volunteer based. She had, adults in the area volunteering to help these children. And then the state of Illinois reached out to her and asked her, how is this so successful? And here we are with this beautiful location in Rockford. And we have 4 programs at Marshmallows Hope, and one of them is the mentor program. So we teamed up with the state of Illinois, and we go out into the community with our employees, and we mentor children and families. We also have an intensive outpatient program that is done at the building, and that's an 8-week program for high school students to get the therapy that they need to help them with their mental health, help build the skill sets, so when they are struggling, they can come out of it. And one-on-one therapy is also taking place. And then our latest and greatest is going into these families' homes and doing an inpatient home therapy treatment. So all done with the state of Illinois, which is a great thing.
Is that something that's on?
No, we have to update the website with our newest program. Yeah, we just started it. Our first in-home therapy visit will be this coming week.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah.
Breaking news here on the In Crowd 815 podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Brand new stuff going on at Marshmallows Hope. And there's the mission statement.
Zachary, yeah.
And Laura's told us the story of why it's called Marshmallows Hope. We'll just tell people, go back to Laura Kane's visit to the In Crowd 815 podcast to hear all about the story of why she calls it Marshmallows Hope and all that sort of stuff. But one of the main reasons we want to have you on here today is to talk about the fact that In Crowd 815, our networking group, is going to be at this beautiful, beautiful place, your new home.
Yeah.
The end of this month, the last Thursday of this month. So we're really looking forward to seeing what you have there. I was lucky enough to have time on my schedule to be able to pop in for your ribbon cutting when you had that done here. Just
Okay.
gosh, it hasn't been a year ago, right? It was last summer.
Yeah, it was in September. Yep. And Zach, the day that we lost Zachary, so September 16th.
And it was a wonderful ceremony and ribbon cutting of this wonderful facility. What can you tell us about the facility itself? Can you kind of fill us in on how that all came about? And
yeah, absolutely. So Laura was Marshmallows Hope was we received a grant and to purchase some property in Winnebago County. And, she took her time in this research, had people involved and certain realtors, and just nothing like the first few locations she went to, it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't what she was dreaming of. And she walked up to this location and she was like, this is the place. So the previous owners, graciously, Laura made an offer, also wrote a letter to them explaining why she wanted this location for her mission, for Marshmallows Hope mission. They read the letter and they accepted her offer, which was less than what they were asking for. So it all seemed like the blessing just seemed to work, and now we're in there. They moved in. I wasn't there at the time. I started at Marshmallows Hope at the end of August. So those employees that were with Marshmallows Hope moved in June and spent a lot of time, updating it, painting it, getting new carpeting, things like that. And yeah, it's a wonderful, warm, inviting behavioral health center. So, and
it's in a spot in Rockford that's it's off the beaten path a little bit, but still easy to find. That's
exactly. And we do, if families or children are not able to, if they don't have their own transportation, we are teamed up with Winnebago County. We offer rideshare. So we will be updating our website with that information. So as long as they can call 12 to 14 hours ahead of time to schedule that, somebody will come pick them up, take them to their visit, and then also take them home free of charge.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm going to try on the fly here to bring up the information. There it is. This is what I'm looking for. Thank you, typing fingers, for being actually accurate today. Our May 2025 In Crowd 815 event at Marshmallows Hope is May 29th, the last Thursday of the month. And we are inviting all of our past and present in-crowd folks to come on out and check out the Marshmallows Hope nonprofit and their wonderful facility there it's the address is actually Temple. No.
It is 1628 Temple Lane.
1628 Temple Lane.
Yep.
Which is right behind the Cherry Valley Feed and Supply. Which is on the corner there of like Bell School and Harrison. So pretty easy to find. And like all of our In Crowd 815 networking group events, you are welcome to come out and let me see if this is going to work. It looks pretty good. It's a play around with the technology here a little bit. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it's kind of not so great, but anyway, we'll have some hors d'oeuvres and such so people can come out and snack and mingle and do some networking and meet some of Rockford's nicest professionals that you'll ever find. Absolutely free to do. And then by about 6:30, we'll start actually talking about what Marshmallows Hope is all about. So if you cannot get there, even though we start at 5:30, if you can't get there till 6:30, you're not going to miss the Marshmallows Hope portion of the evening. So still come, still learn about what Marshmallows Hope is all about. and meet Laura, meet Jamie and the team there that help make this all possible. What else? Yep.
I wanted to add, I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier, is all services at Marshmallows Hope are provided pro bono. So there's no charges that are passed on to the clients or their families.
So this is all funded. What kind of funding? I guess obviously you do ask for donations. You're a nonprofit. How's the funding been this last year for Marshmallows Hope?
It's actually been really well. I know a lot of people are scared right now because of what's going on in the government or what's being talked about, but we've not felt anything from those decisions. We are funded by Winnebago County due to the half-cent tax, so we're very appreciative of that. And we're also funded by the state of Illinois. And then, like you said, donations. And on September 6th, we have our biggest event, our biggest fundraising event. It's the Music for Hope event. We're going to have that at Hard Rock Cafe in Rockford.
Okay.
So we're very excited to team up with them. And it's going to be a dueling piano / dinner event.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Those are always a lot of fun. Sing along. They make things funny and fun and entertaining. So
yeah,
that should be great. What's the date of that event again?
September 6th.
September 6th. So mark your calendar for September 6th. And that'll be something that's definitely worth getting out and supporting Marshmallows Hope for a fun evening there. So
right.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to make sure we get out there today before we let you go about your weekend, Jamie?
Well, along with the 815 event that we're having May 29th, we are very excited to host that. So thank you, Greg, for allowing us to do that. But if you're not able to make it, come visit us anytime. We'll be glad to give you a tour so you can see what's happening at Marshmallows Hope.
It really is such a beautiful facility, and the success that you have had as an organization, especially partnering with others like SOS and the one that you're mostly closely involved in, which is
Rosecrans.
Yep. And I know you're involved in something else, Jamie.
Oh, you always do this, and I was like, I'm a co-founder of the RDM Foundation, which is to honor my son, who we also lost to suicide in 2021.
So there's what's the word? The passion runs deep,
very deep,
amongst Laura and Jamie and their families and these organizations. So, and of course the love and support you guys get from Kevin Polkey and what he does at SOS and everything is just, it's a very wonderful yet sad, and all these emotions that you can pour it into what these organizations, how they were founded, why they were founded, and what they're doing, and the good work they're doing. It's so important to make sure that people understand that out of these terrible ashes, some great beauty has come out, and some lives have been saved and touched and improved on because of what these organizations are doing. So if there's someone in your life that needs a little bit of a help, little bit of a boost, a little bit of encouragement, we have these great organizations that are there now. So that's a good thing.
Right. Please reach out. Don't go through this alone. Call 988, call 911, call Marshmallows Hope. We have a crisis hotline. It's 24/7. So there's always somebody available to take that call and help you through this. Because honestly, tomorrow is a new day. It really is. And it's a beautiful day promised to us. So, or not always promised to us, but we're in this together. So it is built on emotions and passion. We do want to truly help people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to having our group out there May 29th, last Thursday of May, to take a little tour of Marshmallows Hope facility and learn all about the organization. And congratulations also, your group was one of the teams that won money in October's Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Thank you for hosting that.
did really well with that. And we did it again in April and had another wonderful time. It looks like we're probably going to do this again in November.
Okay.
We haven't set the hard and fast date yet, but we're getting close to announcing that. Hopefully we'll have some details together in the next month or so, but a fun way to raise money for not-for-profits. And one of the things we're brainstorming and working on now is to make sure every not-for-profit that participates in the event wins before they get there. Meaning, this is being created and has been created to become a win-win-win situation for all that are involved. So when you sign up your not-for-profit to be a part of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, it gives you an opportunity to do a fundraiser that you don't have to organize yourself. There's a lot.
We love those.
Yes, exactly. There's so many logistics that you try to put together an entertainment and what am I trying to say? To try to put on an event like this, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of little things that you try to make happen. And so for us to do this for our community, put it out there and say, all you need to do is get people there and sell tickets to it. You don't have to do anything other than that.
Okay.
This is the goal of this whole thing. So our next venue that we're hoping to announce soon should have more seating for spectators and fans to come and root on their favorite not-for-profit teams that are playing to try to win the bigger dollar prizes. But even before getting there, by having sold tickets to the event itself, the not-for-profit would already have won. So there's no pressure to try to win the big money because you've already won, quote unquote, won some money by selling tickets to the event itself. And that's
awesome. That's great. We'll be there for sure.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it very much. So we're looking forward to seeing you May 29th, and have yourself a great rest of your weekend, Jamie. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
We are trying to connect with Tom real quick to see if his phone is able to connect out at Peak Sports Club, because the Who Gives a Ruck event is going on, and Tom's been trying to log in, but I don't know. I'm gonna call him and see if he picks up. We haven't done this before, at least not in a long time. Hey, you're on the podcast, Tom.
Am I?
On the phone. I think, I don't know if people can hear you or not, but I'm putting my phone up to the.
Okay, well, I canceled out of it. It wouldn't let me do the mic thing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying on my computer now. I'm going to get it out of the phone and go on my computer real quick.
Well, why don't we just tell people where you are and what you're doing so that we can move on. So I'm going to put up on the screen. It's the 3rd annual Who Gives a Ruck event, and they asked us if we could provide sound for this, and I said, you know what, I can't, but maybe Tom can. And there's Tom. You got your speakers all set up. You're going to be playing some music today.
Yep.
And
This is just crazy. I can't really tell you better right now. But tomorrow, you're going to be there at what time? You're going to be there about 11:30 tomorrow.
We can talk about this later, Tom. We're on the podcast right now, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Save the personal stuff for later. Today is Saturday, May 17th. This Who Gives a Ruck event at the Peak Sports Club on Peak Drive, which is really Perryville, out there in front of Perryville, where the Perryville Road starts to curve. Have you ever done any rucking, Tom?
I am not sure what that means. So I'm not going to answer yes or no.
He's gonna be learning that himself today. So, basically, participants are encouraged to carry a 20-pound weighted backpack to symbolize the roughly 20 veterans who succumb to suicide every day. And that's why this is called the Who Gives a Ruck Walk, a march to raise awareness about veteran suicide and community health services available to veterans. All proceeds are benefiting local organizations and agencies that serve the veterans throughout our community in various ways. Thanks to Assisting Hands Home Care for being a big sponsor of this. the march doesn't begin till 10 a.m. And as we record this podcast live now, it's just about 9. So you got about a whole hour. Check-in starts at 9 at the Peak Sports Club. If you're punching in the address to go, it's 4401 Peak Drive in Loves Park. 4401 PEAK Drive in Loves Park. The online registration was $40. And you got some special stuff for registering online. If you're walking up as a walk-up registration, you're probably not going to get the special stuff, but you still get to support the organization. So, yeah, I'm
the south lawn of Peak.
South lawn of Peak.
You can't miss it. There's flags everywhere, and there's people lining up, and there's a few tents. And, so it's going to be a really good event. It is a bit chilly out here, so bring a windbreaker if you're coming out. Maybe bring a hat, some gloves. I don't know. You put gloves. A hat. It's definitely windy.
It's a windy day.
One of your good hats, it might blow off.
Gotcha. Little extra glue on the toupee, as we used to like to say.
Ooh, there you go.
All right, buddy. Well, you have fun providing the noise and the sounds for all things Who Gives a Ruck today, and we'll catch up with you next week, buddy.
Absolutely.
Did
Sorry,
you...
I couldn't be part of the show today. It was a crazy setup. But
well, let's do this before we let you go, Tom. We do have a big number of the week.
Oh, all right.
Let's do the big number of the week. And the big number of the week this week is 45.1 million.
Okay.
45.1 million. And the answer is Memorial Day or movies. Memorial Day or movies. 44.1 million. What?
I'm going movies.
You're going movies. Okay. So
I'm going movies.
One of us is getting a point. And as far as the movie answer goes this week, AMC is trying to get moviegoers to come back into the movie theaters. They're offering a special. Did you hear about the special that they're going to start offering next month?
I did not.
It's 50% off all tickets on Wednesdays.
Ooh.
Even evening primetime movies, 50% off tickets on Wednesdays. If you're looking for a cheap midweek date, AMC movies might be the place to go on a Wednesday night. Greg's getting the point this week because Memorial Day was the answer. Travel for holiday weekend is projected to top a 20-year-old record this year, according to data from AAA. More than 45 million Americans are estimated to travel at least 50 miles from home between May 22nd and May 26th. That's up 1.5 million travelers from 2024 and beating out the previous record of 44 million who traveled in 2005. They're expecting 45.1 million Americans to travel at least 50 miles or more for Memorial Day weekend. You taking a road trip for Memorial Day weekend, you think, Tom?
That one was just too obvious. That's why I went movies.
I know.
No, I'm not doing anything except for the DJ gig I'm doing right now. I had to teach yesterday, and tomorrow we got a trivia event, so it's a busy weekend.
There we go.
I don't go anywhere. I don't really. All my kids live in town. I don't have any. No, I rarely travel for anything.
All right. Well, let's hope we don't have to do the phone version of the In Crowd 815 podcast again. I think this might have worked okay, but it's not ideal.
Well, I didn't for reasons that I'll tell you about later. I couldn't even get set up until I didn't even finish getting set up until 20 minutes.
I got you.
And then I tried the phone thing and it didn't work. So.
I kind of figured so. All right, buddy. Well, you have a great rest of your day. I'll call you after we're done here. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Tom. What?
Bye-bye.
Bye now. There's Tom Warner. There's our man on the streets at Peak for their big event today. Next week here on the In Crowd 815 podcast, have you heard of Rosie's Birthday Club? We're going to talk to founder Vicki Benson all about Rosie's Birthday Club and why it's so special and very, very cool here in the 815. Until then, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Bye-bye.
815 in crowd, 815 in crowd.